How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. This is Gear Raid 1, Stage 22, and as you can see behind me, I'm clearing it, no Power of Dominance, and if we take a peek on who's included as this run finishes, there's no Ingrid, no Beelzebub, no Artemis, no Magda, no Legendary Lords, no Diaochan. I tried to get as many this very commonly used hero as possible. It's not like we're using bad heroes at all, but actually in the end we only used 4 legendary heroes: Vierna, Boreas, Khamet, and Elowyn, and then very accessible epics. So I hope this can help people. Without a doubt, I'm using good gear and good artifacts, but I would hope you guys have one of the super meta units. If you put one of those guys in, or you at least use Legendary Lords, the gear requirement would drop dramatically. But I think 121 is really, if you don't have those perfect heroes, it feels so much harder than it needs to be. You will see in this video, I have A5 Boreas and A5 Khamet. Those A5s are really not helping much. The A3s on both of them certainly are. With Khamet, it's really the A1 and the A2. With Boreas, the A1, the A3, very good. I would actually argue Boreas' A5 is hurting him, but if I had them both at A1, I could definitely still do this on my account. Unfortunately, I've got what I got. But trust me, this video is going to help you guys a lot if you are lacking some of those meta units. And if you're not lacking those meta units, don't worry, the strategy will work just even better. And I am planning a big guide that is Gear Raid 1, Stage 22, 23, and 24, all of the content, but using my meta heroes. So you can look forward to that if you've got your Ingrid and your Beelzebub, so on and so on.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start by showing you the damage. It might surprise you. Vierna is nuts. Now, to be fair to Boreas and Khamet, a lot of that DPS is what I'd call cleanup crew damage. So what do I mean by that? Vierna is executing units. She can't do it to the elites or obviously the boss when he comes down, but to all the Scourges, the guys with the AoE aura, which is really what kills us on this stage, she can fully execute them. And that is just like all of a sudden, boom, in one pop, it's like a few million damage. It's kind of crazy. So she really racks it up, but it's actually the normal damage is fairly evenly shared. But Vierna really having a glow up with the introduction of some of the new content in this game, particularly Gear Raid 1, 22, 23, 24. My Vierna's only A2. I promise if all these guys were A1, it would work. The only one that I think I need A1 is Boreas, just for more consistent freeze chances. Then obviously the epics are the epics. And let me tell you, Elowyn would work completely identically at A0. She's there really just for her passive nature's favor. So let's go into it, guys. I think let's start with the battle, then I'll show you the gearing, all the builds, the artifacts, but the battle is the tricky thing. As you saw right there, we obviously have a Gear Raid 1 tournament live right now, so that's why this is particularly relevant. Let's go to 22. You can see Power of Dominance is off, so we are good to go. Let's head into battle. And let me just start by saying 2 things. The timings on this are pretty tight, so I'm going to try to give you as clear instructions as possible. Additionally, I gotta say, obviously I'm only bringing 4 legendaries. They're accessible legendaries, but they're very good ones. And even with that and my good gear, this is still really tight. And I think that's pretty frustrating. I think Moonton overtuned these stage 22, 23, 24 stages for the 3 gear raids because they just feel really hero gated. They feel very hero dependent. I don't appreciate that. I'm assuming a lot of the viewers don't either, but this guide hopefully should help a lot of people, especially if you have a couple of the meta units. But even if you don't, this should give you hope that it of course can be done without Legendary Lords and without the super meta people. I'm gonna put myself in the corner here so I'm not really in way of the fight. You don't have to look at my ugly mug. You can focus on the action. And let's start by placing Vierna. Vierna will go there in the middle, and we're gonna place Dolores right behind her. Dolores is in Wings of Grace, so that's plus 12% attack for her and also for the ally in range with the highest attack. So that will be Vierna. She's the only ally in range. Now let's wait. We can throw it on 2x. Once we have 19 costs, we're going to place Boreas here. Boreas will be good DPS, good crowd control, and obviously when he puts his freezes out or when any unit does a freeze, so Marri will do the same. She's an awesome partner hero for Boreas. He will place some anti-heal. You can see when those purple crosses appear. They actually just did right above him. So yeah, let's get in place. We're going to sit on these ults though because the timing is kind of special. Let's wait. Let's place Khamet here. And now we're going to get ready. As soon as this last row is there and they're about to turn, right about here, see them gathering in front, but they haven't turned yet, that's when we're going to trigger Boreas. And now, right when Khamet's about 70%, 70, 75, we're going to trigger Dolores. We're going to sit on Vierna. You saw those purple crosses. That's some anti-heal. Not that we needed it in that moment. Let's throw it on 1x, because before we ult with Khamet, we want to place Hollow. Hollow is putting Invigoration on Khamet, so plus 10% for her and for Khamet. It's random if it goes on Khamet or Boreas, but if you point to the right, on my comp at least, every time it's landing on Khamet. So as soon as we can, we're going to ult with Khamet. And basically, we're waiting on Vierna's ult because we want to do it at a moment. See all those purple crosses? Good timing. That is some heal block right as the heal comes. We want to wait on Vierna's ult because she's got this execution, and after she does that ult burst, a couple seconds after, she'll execute. If the enemies are under a certain HP threshold, it's 35% with max skill ups, 45% if you have her exclusive bangle, which she is wearing, but you want to time it out right. You don't want to wait too long and you kind of screw yourself, but you don't want to do it too early and people aren't under the threshold. If you ever want to see the health really clearly, because there's always so many numbers going around, just click and you'll get on like a super slow-mo. We're pretty close. I'm going to wait like one more moment for this to go a bit lower. That actually looks pretty good. Let's ult with Vierna. Best case, 2 guys will be left. So 3 guys. This guy here on the outside and this guy on the left, the outside on the right and the outside on the left, they are considered elites. They cannot be executed. This guy in the middle, though, you can see we obviously missed him, but that's a pretty dang good result. We'll take it. As soon as we can, we're going to ult with Hollow, and actually we're going to already place Marri. So you might be thinking, oh, isn't she going to die with these AoE DPS units, the Scourges coming around the corner? They take longer going around this corner than you would think, so we will be able to get Elowyn out fast enough that it's not a huge issue. Let me also move myself back to the corner now. So as soon as you have 16 costs, let's place Elowyn. And she comes to the rescue, saves Marri before she can die. My Mari's in a lot of HP. Kind of basically just need her in a ton of HP and a ton of speed. You can throw this back on 2x here. Now we're just kind of in a holding pattern waiting. We're going to sit on these ults. And as soon as we have 25 costs, by the way, we're going to get Greed out. So if we want to talk about a couple roles on the right, Elowyn is providing rage regen to the whole map from Nature's Favor, her passive. But then Marri's got freeze, which will provide a nice extra damage to Boreas whenever the freeze happens, and also the anti-heal. Then, of course, the freeze itself is good crowd control. She also has vulnerabilities, magic and physical. We're only bringing magic damage, but that vulnerability will help. And then she also has slows. Greed has additional slows, and then he's got magic res reduction, which is stackable with magic vulnerability. So that's a nice combination with 2 100% free epic heroes, day 3, and then Greed is day 28. All right, let's time out these ults here, though. As soon as we place Greed, that's like that's when I like to go Boreas into Khamet, into Dolores. Let's wait. We're not going to trigger Hollow until I've already gone with Vierna. Let's check the health. Let's wait another moment. Okay, good time to trigger. Now immediately, let's go with Hollow. You can see I'm holding off on Marri for as long as possible. I don't want to get these guys frozen and stuck outside of our DPS range. That's going to just let them not get hit and be fine, and I don't want that. Looks like they're in now, though, so let's do a freeze with Marri to slow them down. And there's some anti-heal as well. We really just want Vierna to come back around and execute. We should be in pretty good shape before the heal comes, and we are. Look how low they are, so we should be able to kill everyone. And look at the health of the wall. It's looking pretty dang good, right? We won't even need to trigger Dolores' ult. Let's go there with Vierna. Yeah, all those guys are going to be toast. Sweet. So look at that. They took like 10% health total off the wall. So we'll absolutely take that. That's a pretty good thing. Let's wait now, and then here's a surprise thing, but I find this works the best. We want to get an early jump killing these Scourges, so I'm going to ult right now, actually, with my Khamet and my Boreas and my Dolores. It might seem weird, but if we're already at 30 kills, there's 6 of them. If we can even kill 3, maybe 4, we'll be in pretty good shape. Because then we don't have to deal with them as extra units that our guys are targeting when the big nasty men come down in just a moment. We'll definitely sit on that Marri ult, though. We don't need it. Bryce is getting tons of anti-heals out, and we got a ton of damage. Let's wait till they're all in Vierna range and the health is low. Looking pretty dang good. Can we get the health a little lower? Maybe not. All right, these guys are going to live, but we should kill 4 of them, it looks like. Yeah, those guys hold on, barely. I could have maybe waited an extra moment, but we're at 34. Can't see with my head there. Let me actually, this is where I'm going to settle for the rest of the fight, right here. We're at 34. 33 was my goal, so that's pretty good. As soon as these guys start walking out, trigger Hollow, and now this is why I was sitting on the Marri ult. I want to use this to be sure we get some anti-heal when we need it. The Forsaken Totem, here comes the heal. Let's trigger. Let's trigger with Elowyn too, because we need the heals right now. And now we're waiting for Boreas. Also, as these guys are in the corner, we're going to place the Wood Elf. Boreas is ready, so we ult. Let's throw it on 1x. Now we can use Vierna right away because I see a couple low people. We're at 36 kills. Damage looks pretty good. Wall's in good shape, but this is when it gets really, really hard for us. Here comes some more Forsaken Totem, but Boreas is still at half his ult left. So this is one benefit for A5 when he has the extra 10 seconds. It obviously lasts longer, so more anti-heal. But if you're not running Diaochan, the lineup is really annoying. So I definitely suggest if you have Diaochan and you want to run Boreas, please use her instead of Dolores. I just think the whole timing cycle is a lot better, and you don't have to worry about weird Dolores stuff. We are going to ult immediately with Marri, though, just to make sure as many people are frozen and anti-healed as possible. We're up to 40 kills already with over half health on the wall. This is pretty dang good, I got to be honest. We're going to hold off on Vierna until we're ulting with Dolores, but at this point in the fight, we're just kind of ulting when we can, and for the most part. There's Dolores, there's Vierna. We're up to 43 kills, but yeah, now a lot of people just shellacking away at us. This is, so Marri, you saw, is wearing the Tome of Horror. This gives her a little bit extra rage regen and extra attack speed. I don't have her in a Nightmare Samsara, which would be better for ult cycling, but this is better for speed. It's a bit of a trade-off. Let's trigger their Khamet. Let's trigger their Boreas. We're going to use Marri now, and now let's go with Hollow. Let's get some heals out here with the Wood Elf. We're up to 45 kills. If we can get this to like 50 with maybe 15-20% health left on the wall, we should be in pretty good shape. Let's ult with Vierna. Don't have to wait for Dolores there. Let's go with Elowyn. Pretty tight right now. We'll go with Dolores immediately because Boreas is still going, but this is going to be really tight, guys. Come on now. All right, there's a Marri ult. Come on. That will slow him down too, so they're not whacking away at the wall. Let's go with Vierna in case there's some scourges we can pick off. There was one. Let's ult. Now we're just hammering on the ult. So this is where Diaochan would just be so much better. We are up to 56 kills. Let's get this heal here. Not that we really need it. And let's ult with Dolores immediately. Wall looks pretty good, but of course we wish it was better. 4 kills to go, 3 besides the boss. Once we've killed all the enemies that aren't the boss, he can't heal anymore, which means he can't heal himself. But yeah, obviously he still has those 3 units out. Let's get a freeze. They should die in just a second. Perfect. Okay, I think we got it. Yeah, the boss will not be able to take that wall down fast enough and then walk. Even if he takes the wall down, we're going to slow him so much with Greed and Marri. So don't like go crazy. If somehow you have the wall drop, but you just have the boss or just the boss and like 2 guys, if you can kill the other 2 guys quick so he can't heal himself back up. I've done this a couple times on my previous runs when I was discovering this strategy and like teaching all the timings to myself as I went. We slow him so much with Greed and Marri that it actually kind of takes him an eternity to make it to the portal. So don't give up if somehow the wall breaks. But I don't even know if the wall is going to break here, to be honest. So we'll see about that. Let's go. We're going to wait to line up all our ults because I'm pretty freaking confident right now. Again, this is another reason why Diaochan is just better for this, in my opinion. So Khamet, Boreas. Always do Khamet, Boreas right before Dolores if you can. Always do Vierna right after, because Vierna's burst is triggered immediately, at least the coding of it, when you do that. And yeah, now we can throw it on auto. The fight's over. So there you have it, guys. I really hope that helps some people, so let me know in the comments. I'm going to show you the builds now and go over any specifics we have not yet covered. But yeah, I hope you appreciate the guide. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you do, because this one took me a long time to not figure out. This is pretty close to the strategy I wanted to use from the beginning, but to get the timings right and everything, it's kind of tough. Let's take a little check-in on the stats. You can see a similar distribution. You could call it like Vierna does this, Boreas does, what does that come out to? 5/8 of Vierna, and then Khamet's about half of Vierna, and then no DPS from anyone else. So there you have it. Let's talk about the builds. And let's try to wrap this thing up pretty quickly. I prefer this to not be the longest guide. And absolutely, if you want to see stuff with the super meta units, I am going to release a really big guide using those stage 22, 23, 24. But I wanted to provide a foundation here to everyone for just strategy in general, and also how to make do even if you don't have, you know, the amazing units. So let's head in. Just the good units. Raiden, we didn't deploy. Aeon, we didn't deploy. We're just using whatever epic lords we had and wanted to use. Let's go to Khamet now. Khamet is in some of my better Soulbound Arcana. This is my best variant piece. Very cool effect there. We're going attack bonus main stat on everything. You can see flat attack there. Here, though, we did go for HP bonus. I found for your platformers, you want at least 25,000 HP. And then I was aiming for 26. So that was the case for like Vierna, Khamet, and Boreas. That's what I was shooting for. Because we have those healers, you know, Hollow tucked in like here on the left corner and Elowyn here, they're not getting exposed to the Scourges very much, but like Dolores and then the 3 DPS I used for sure. And then Greed and Marri, you'll see their HP's as high as I could get it while still hitting the attack speed and rage regen stats I was looking for. There you go. Over 20k attack. Pretty fast, not so fast. Good crit damage, not great. He is in, of course, a maxed out tier of Twilight. Not too shabby. I do not like his exclusive at all. I don't recommend it. That's going to be Khamet. Let's continue now. Oop, did not mean to double click out of there. Let's go to Boreas. This is the best piece on my account. I always like to show it off because it's the best thing about my account. Definitely nice to have a little rage regen on Boreas because his ult lasts so long. You saw we're always playing catch up with Dolores. If you don't have him A5, it's not as big an issue, but those extra 10 seconds, as good as they are for a lot of content, are kind of pesky for this. But again, if you have Diaochan, then A5 is like God for Boreas because it just works perfect. You never have to worry about this timing. She's always giving the inspiration. I prefer, as a Diaochan truther and stan, and I'm in love with her, I prefer her to Dolores in basically every piece of content at this point, just because she's so much easier to use. You don't the whole timing thing. You can turn that part of your brain off and focus on what's important. That's how I see it. If we go to the other side here, let me just show you. There's big HP, flat HP, but still useful. Don't sleep on flat HP, right? He's got about 10k, so this is about 22% or so, right? Or 21%. Which is still a great HP roll. So flat HP is really good. Here we got the trio of DPS stats with HP bonus. And then we've got just really good attack with solid crit damage and crit rate. He's obviously crit capped. And you'll see about the same attack as Khamet, just between 20.5 and 21,000. Pretty fast, but not that fast. Very similar stats to Khamet, actually. Just under 300% crit damage. And he does have the rage regen. A little bit helps. But you really wouldn't need it if you had Diaochan. He cycles well enough as long as he's max skilled. He cycles, I mean, those 10 seconds less hurt you, but then he's just getting his next ult up faster. So it's an interesting kind of thing there. That's going to be our Boreas maxed out tier Twilight, as you saw. Elowyn doesn't matter too much. You just want her to have big heals. HP doesn't matter on her. You can see I completely ignored it. 22k seems good for some content. It's not good for this content, but because she's hidden in the corner, we do not care. Extremely high attack. I went all out on attack, and then I wanted her fast. Not that I wish she was faster, but 450 worked, and then a little rage regen doesn't hurt either. I got her in a morale set, a little extra DPS for everybody because I could get away with it. You can see not the best rolls, so if you can make it work, try to make it work, and then just Peely stuff with a speedy whirlwind set, trying to make that work. For the artifact, she's in an Elysian Epitaph. Even though her ultimate is AoE and her basics are triple hitters, her basics register as single hitters. So this is an amazing thing for when she's not ulting. I love this artifact on her. Let's go now to Dolores. This is as simple a build as you can imagine. It's Wings of Grace on the right. We're looking attack bonus, flat attack, and either flat HP or HP bonus or both. You can see that pattern. And then we've got attack bonus with HP bonus, and then flat HP if you can get it. And then attack bonus, flat attack, HP bonus. Obviously, you can't get flat HP because that's the main stat. For the artifacts, run her in a max out Golden Scarab. Really nice to run her in a maxed out Mythic artifact because you get the 4650 HP. So I actually got my Dolores' HP pretty high, 26.9. Given how low that base HP is, I'm happy with that. Over 14k attack is good, and that's it. That's all she wrote for Dolores. Nothing else really matters. Almost done here, guys. Let's go to Hollow. The Hollow build I could have tweaked a bit more. I just put on my Gear Aid 2 Elowyn build, so actually the HP is really high. We could get away with a lot less, but then I'm just looking for pretty high attack, so I say 17 to 18k is a good place to shoot. If you can get higher, go higher. She could have been a little faster, but 324 does it. Again, if you could get her like 450, 500, that'd be better. And then you want a decent bit of rage regen. We got 38%. All in all, though, this build I knew was working right away because I built my DPS tanky. You really should do that, a little tanky at least. But you could do way less HP, get this to like 18k, get this to, if you really want to min-max it, get this like 420, 450. Heal effect is fine at 94. Anywhere close to 100 is good. And then get that rage regen to like 60%. You'd be kind of cooking. You could definitely do that, but yeah, you see, I ran Life Force on the left. I swapped some gear. It worked, so why not be lazy? You know, if it's working, it's working. Let's go to Greed now. Greed, I've got him in a Mana Spring. We want him ulting as much as possible. So HP bonus on the main stats when we can get it with attack speed and rage regen. Attack speed with HP bonus, flat HP, rage regen. And then here we've got rage regen with HP bonus, attack speed. And then for both these pieces on the left, we don't care about the set. They happen to be salvation. We're just looking for HP bonus, rage regen, attack speed. HP bonus, rage regen, attack speed. This build's slightly overkill, but for sure you want him close to 30k HP. So I'd say 28k plus if you can. Depends how good your Elowyn healing build is or if you're using something else. And then you can see he's fast. quite fast. We got him down well less than half. He's at 604 speed, good rage regen, but the Mana Spring set goes a long way. You don't need it, but it goes a long way. For the artifact, we got a maxed out Nightmare Samsara. I think I just saw Marri, so let's go straight to her. Marri, this build is just like, hey, can I get the stats? Completely broken set on the right. We're just looking for HP bonus, attack speed, rage regen, HP bonus, attack speed, rage regen, flat HP if you can get it. And then what do you think it's going to be? Oh, did you say HP bonus, attack speed, rage regen? That's what we're doing. She needs to be tanky. I ran her at like 31k and it was not cutting it. You'll see we ended up getting her about 35, 36, I think it was. Here I'm going for flat HP bonus attack speed, and then great if you can get attack speed on the Whirlwind Breastplate. You don't need it, but you get the HP from the main stat and then HP bonus attack speed. I just wanted her going really fast. I wanted lots of slows and lots of vulnerability opportunities. You can see we got her to almost 40k, 39.6k HP, 1.2 interval. 544 attack speed, and then here with the rage regen, not crazy, but 72% is pretty solid. That certainly helps. Let's wrap up. The artifact is going to be a maxed out Tome of Horror. You could run her in a Nightmare Samsara, no problem. You could also run this not maxed out, but the extra speed, the extra rage regen is a pretty cool thing because she's slowing everyone constantly. And then finally, my Vierna build. Pretty proud of this because I made it work. Crit capping her, even though anyone that follows my channel, I do not have a single amulet on my account that has attack bonus main stat and crit rate as a sub, regardless of the other substats for any Cataclysm piece. So I just re-rolled this piece one time with a hammer to get acceptable substat rolls with the flat attack and the crit damage. The flat HP was nice too. And then I just hunted enough crit rate elsewhere. Keep in mind when you're working with cultists, if you're at all deep into the game, you get a 3% collection bonus on crit rate. So the number you're shooting for is 97%, not 100. So she's actually at 100.5%. Here's my best Vierna exclusive piece. Is it good? Yes. Is it amazing? Not really. Like, I wish that HP was higher. I wish that flat attack was higher. I wish the crit damage was higher. But we got the big crit roll that helps us make up for that amulet. Pretty good. And then this piece is pretty freaking awesome. The crit damage could be higher, but that's a great crit rate roll. That helped enable the build. Then we went Warlord on the left, looking for HP, a lot of crit rate, and obviously attack. Don't care about that attack speed, but big attack, big crit rate, decent HP. And then finally, we got this piece with the trio stats, nice crit rate, big crit damage to make up for some of the lower rolls, solid attack, and good HP. So all in all, she ended up close to where the other guys were. There were a couple runs where she was like just dying or just about to die. That's why I say you want 25k plus. We were just a hair under 25, but we made it work. Obviously, if you ran, I will say if you run these guys with the legendary Lord, you'll get a bigger attribute contribution. Maybe the number becomes more like 24k, not 25k. So keep that in mind for your runs. But really, we just want her attack to the moon. So with only 4,600 base, getting her to 20k plus is really good. And she's in that same range again. We're at about 20.5 for Boreas, Khamet, and Vierna. Doesn't need any attack speed. I didn't put any on her. That's not part of her kit. Crit capped, not very good crit damage, but good enough. A little bit of rage regen. And then for her artifact, if you have her exclusive artifact, please use it, even if it's base promo. Mine's only promo 1. This here, the AoE damage, nice. The second line, soul extraction, no longer consumes souls. Because you never use up the souls, you can max out her targets at, I believe it is 13. Which is just crazy. Let's go to soul extraction here. She can get 12 souls, and each soul increases the number of targets she can hit. It also increases her attack. Because she'll never consume them, she's at her base 1 unit she can hit plus an additional 12. She's hitting 13 targets, building attack. If you can get this, it's amazing. Otherwise, just run her in a Tier of Twilight. But even base promo, this is her best in slot for any content where she gets any kills. It's just amazing. The other thing I was going to tell you guys about is that execution. So you can see it here. It doesn't work on elite monsters and bosses, but it's at 35%. And if you're able to get her bangle, this is going to increase the threshold, as you can see, by 10%. So it's 45% or lower. But don't get frustrated if it's not executing. You're like, they have 33%. Like, that's been me a lot in the past. They're just an elite monster. That's what that means. But all in all, I think this is as accessible as it's going to get. I know I have the big awakenings, but I promise the only big awakening here for Khamet is just the extra base attack, the plus 5%. That comes out to like an extra 230 attack, which helps for scaling, but it's not crazy. For Boreas, the A1 is the best by far. His base chance is 10% to get a freeze out on his hits during the ultimate. Now it goes up another 40, so it goes to 50%. That is crazy. The little extra attack helps. And then the A3, the extra damage from the frozen purification is good. You could get away without this. I think maybe the one thing you really need awakening-wise in this comp is that A1. The A5, like I said, amazing, but you're kind of hurt by it a couple times if you're using Dolores instead of Diao. But remember, A0 Diao 100% works for this. We don't need any extra range. So an A0 Diao is just as good as an A1 Diao. So if you've got her, use her instead of Dolores. And then finally with Vierna, these awakenings freaking suck. I mean, the magic res doesn't work. Like 10% is nothing. Greed is much better for that. I will say the plus 300 attack is nice. That's pretty significant because she goes from 43 to 46. So you're talking about something like, I mean, what does that come out to? Like a 7.5% increase in base attack. That's very strong. But you absolutely don't need it. I really think it's just that A1 on Boreas. Otherwise, you maybe have to bring one of those meta units in. Anyway, that is going to be my no meta unit guide or no top meta unit guide for Gear Aid 1 Stage 22. Like I said, if you want to see 22, 23, 24 with the meta units like Ingrid and Beelzebub and Magda, Diaochan, Artemis, I have that comp. I'll do that comp for you. If you want to ASAP, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, it'll be in 1 or 2 or 3 days. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you appreciate the stuff, subscribe to the channel, share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.